Hi everyone, welcome back. It is a blustery day here at the Frog Pond Veg Patch. I don't know if you can see that wind. There's a lot of wind here, but I thought it'd be a good day to get the garlic in the ground. So Dan's been working on prepping the bed, and we will show you what we did to prep the bed, and then also the types of garlic we're growing, how we're going to separate out the garlic, and then we'll be planting it. And last up, I'll show you how I'm going to mulch it for winter. So to prep this bed for the garlic, first Dan took out all of last season's growth. Then he mixed in about an inch or so of compost that covered the whole thing, as well as some bone meal to put a lot of nutrients in the soil for the garlic as it grows over winter. So these are the types of garlic we'll be growing this year. I've got some elephant garlic over here. I've got red Russian, Montana Zemo, let's see, silver white, I think. Silver white. Chestnut red. There it goes. I have no idea how to pronounce this one. Ichilinium red, I think. Creole red. I might have done that one. Anyway, Creole red and Georgia fire. So let's get these outside and separated and organized, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I'm planting 8 different types of garlic in the garden this year. I wouldn't normally do that, but this is a test year for these types of garlic. I want to see what Dan prefers most in the kitchen, and then I'm going to keep going with those. Ideally, my goal is to be able to plant garlic cloves next season from the garlic we harvest this year. So we'll see if that works out. I've seen some people ask if you can grow garlic cloves from the garlic that you get at the store. And while you can certainly try that, there's a few things you might want to keep in mind. They probably have sprout inhibitors on them, which means that they may get started growing, but then they'll die off before they form a bulb. Also, if you're in a northern climate, all the grocery store garlic is a Softneck variety that's grown in warmer climates like California, and it's unlikely to grow well in anything, say, zone 6 and lower. So we have all the garlic out here. We've got some jars to break them into to keep track of everything, and the label's all set, and we can start breaking these apart. Okay, so I have one of each type of garlic. I have a Softneck here, which is silver white. Again, these are not really ideal for northern gardeners, but I heard from another gardener in zone 6 that they have luck with this one, so I thought I'd try it. The other one I have is the Montana Zemo, and I'll open both these for you so you get an idea of what the cloves look like. So when you break it apart, you get a clove like this. This is actually, it looks like multiple cloves in here. Let's see if I can find a better one. So as you're dividing it, you get different size bulbs. This one is 2, so I still have to break that one apart. So I want to keep the ones that are large and that don't have any damage. So this one here has a little bit of damage on it, so I don't want to keep that to plant. I am keeping them though, and I'm putting them here so we can use these in the kitchen. So I'm going to keep going with the silver white, and then we'll get to the hardneck garlic in a second. I'm going to divide this one up fully before I decide which ones are the small cloves and which ones are the larger cloves, because Softneck garlic has a lot of different size cloves in it, and I want to figure out what are the best before I commit. That's a nice size clove right there. I'll commit to that one. I have these jars here with the labels in them just to keep them separate. These outer ones here are really nice size. You want to be picking out the largest cloves because this is going to result in the largest bulbs when you go to harvest them. You can see through the paper that this one has another smaller clove off on the side, but when I ripped the other one apart, it ended up taking off a lot of the paper. So you don't want to bury a a clove that has too much of the skin showing. Here's the outside of it. Because you can end up with getting rot in here, and we've had such a wet season that I'm not going to risk that. So I'll just put those in there. So this is what I got from the silver white garlic. It's a Softneck variety. I think I have about 12 good cloves here to plant. I'll put those in the jar. And then the rest here I have on this piece of paper to keep track of them. we're going to be using these in the kitchen. So I want to keep track of what they are, so if we decide right off the bat that we hate one of them or that we love one of them, I have that now as opposed to even having to wait till next year. So this is a hardneck variety. This one is Montana Zemo. Obviously I got a lot of these from Botanical Interests. I also got one from the Garden Center and one from, where did I get this? Wood Prairie Family Farm. So I pretty much get garlic wherever I find garlic that looks interesting. So let's get this one open and see what it looks like. So already you might see one of the differences here between a soft neck and a hard neck garlic. Let me get out another soft neck to show you. Here's a soft neck variety. You can see that the neck here, I can break it with my fingers, versus the hard neck variety, which is a very thick, solid stem. Also the soft neck variety, when I was taking it apart, you saw that cloves went all the way into the center. This is the center of the hard neck variety, and then the cloves are all the way around the outside. Wow. So another difference you can see already. Let's get out one of these bigger cloves from the soft neck variety. I think this is the biggest soft neck variety clove versus a single hard neck variety clove for this Montana Zemo. That's a really big difference. I like that so far. This one is said to be very cold hardy. Let me see here. Does extremely well in cold climates. I got 4 giant cloves off of that one. So I'm going to get through the rest of this garlic. I'll stop on the elephant garlic and show you what that looks like, and then we'll get to planting. So let's see, I've never grown elephant garlic before, but I wanted to try it. It's hardy zones 3 through 9. I would think because it's hard neck that you might want to put it in the fridge for a few weeks if you're in a more southern zone. Elephant garlic is a type of leek, and these are the segments. So I have the chesthook red here, and I'll show you how to plant a couple of these. I have this, it's an old handle from something. So I just use this to make a hole where the garlic will go. That's how deep the hole is, about 3 inches. So you have the same amount of soil on top as you have the size of the garlic clove. And you want to put it in with the flat end at the bottom, pointy end at the top. So just push that in there and then cover it over with soil. So I'm going to do that for all of these garlic cloves, and then I'll show you how I'm going to mulch this bed for winter. So I have a few extra cloves from each of the different types, and I'm going to be saving these in the garage in their jars over winter. The garage stays a little bit above freezing all winter. Hopefully it doesn't get too below freezing. And I'm going to be potting these up in probably late January, early February. So I'm going to take a 4-inch pot. I'll probably put 2 each in there. And the soil will be 1 part compost to 3 parts potting soil. And I'll probably mix in a high nitrogen fertilizer of some type. We'll see what I have in the spring, in the January, to put that in there. And then I'll let them grow on in the garage so they still stay a bit cold. And then once the garden is thawed out, I'm going to pop them into the garden soil wherever they'll fit. And then those will be harvesting as green garlic, so like green onions, and we'll be using those in the kitchen that way. And then I should expect this garlic that I just planted to be ready around July 4th. I'm going to fertilize it a couple times next spring, pretty much whenever I remember. It's probably going to be a high nitrogen fertilizer. I use organic fertilizers, so nothing is particularly high nitrogen, but something like chicken manure fertilizer would work well on this. What you're looking for in the spring is for the garlic to be partially dry but not fully dry. So probably about 40% of the leaves should be yellowed and dried, and then you harvest it at that point. If you go any further than that, you're going to start to lose the papery skin on the outside of the bulbs. So you want to make sure that it's not dried down completely. So the last step today is to mulch it. Okay, so the garlic is all planted, mulched. I covered it with sticks and odds and ends and pieces of wood to hold the leaves down until we get a good snow. But that's all tucked in. I got some more things cleaned up in the garden. Next up in the garden, we're going to be working on finishing up the tents for the winter gardening, for the winter growing. All the plants and seedlings are coming up. They're looking great. So be sure to like this video if it helped you out, and subscribe so you can find out what we're going to be doing part 2 in the winter gardening. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.